Richards from the Discovery Pod with Eve. Welcome back to another episode of the Discovery Pod. Gosh, we've got such an exciting show today with a model, an actress, philanthropist, Jessica Lee, but we'll dive into Jessica's background in a minute. But please watch this episode on the Discovery Pod with Eve's YouTube channel, or you could listen to us on your favorite podcast. I am joined today by my friend Alicia Don Hampton. Alicia, welcome back, and thank you so much for being here and hosting another episode.
Thank you, Eve. Yeah, pleasure to be here.
Awesome. You just relocated from San Francisco to LA. I don't know when this is gonna air, but you just relocated like 2-3 days ago. Tell us.
I did. So I've been going back and forth between San Francisco and LA, and it's just too exhausting to do that. And I tend to follow my intuition and energy, and it just said, yeah, I need to be here. So yes, we picked up, my husband and I, and here we are.
That's
ready for
amazing.
A new adventure.
Wow, because I remember when you were coming to LA to look at that place. That's when I was leaving for London. And it was like 2 weeks ago. And within the span of 2 weeks, you got a place. And you've moved in, and welcome to LA. Because I was hoping Alicia was going to live with me when, I was telling her, hey, no, seriously. I'm like, you know what, Alicia, if you don't get that place, then you're going to stay with me. So congratulations. Welcome back. Tell us. I know you're working on quite a few things. There is a feature that you're going to be the lead on. Tell us about it.
Well, it's going to be filmed in February, and it's quite a small cast. It all takes place basically in one room. We're still working on the name, and I'm not even sure how much I can reveal, so maybe I'll stop there, but I'm excited about it. And then I did just get the final version of a short film that I shot back in May.
Awesome.
I think I may have... No, I didn't stay with you that time. Different time. And
is that the film? I know there was something that you had that premiered, or was it premiered, or it was at the Beverly Hills Film Festival?
I was at the Beverly Hills Film Festival for a movie that was premiering, another short, and we shot this short. So I've just gotten the final version of it, and it was really beautiful. I am always amazed at what these producers and directors put together.
Incredible.
You're on one side of the camera, and later when you see it, in the final version, it's so touching.
Amazing. First off, I got to do a shout out because Alicia and I met at ZA Studio. Even though I'm no longer at ZA, I'm actually still part of the ZA community because I still train with Peter. Peter is there on standby waiting for me.
Peter Alice,
right?
Peter Alice, yes. I've seen you guys at work together.
He was coming to my place at 6:30 a.m. in the morning to make sure that he coached me. So Peter, hey, hope you're doing well. And all the actors at ZA community. Joan, I love you, Joan. And of course, Rob Zimmerman and all of the actors at ZA Studio. Miss you guys. So it's, I think, a great segue into introducing our special guest today, Jessica Lee, known for her iconic Briefcase Model number 16 on Deal or No Deal. Jessica's journey from a Korean-born adoptee to a celebrated actress, model, and humanitarian is nothing short of inspiring. Alongside her flourishing career, Jessica has dedicated herself to giving back to the community. Jessica, so great to have you here. Welcome. It's so good to meet you. I feel like I already know you. So welcome.
Thank you. Introduction. You make me cry.
Oh, no, seriously. I'll delve into the first.
Eve, can I just share a fun fact that I think that maybe both of you don't know? 6 years ago today was your premiere.
Wow.
Of Deal No Deal. Did you know that?
Oh my goodness. What a
Did
fun
you know that? Because I found this little video on YouTube of you.
Wow.
And it was literally, the premiere was the 5th of December, which is the day we're filming.
Since this is the holiday season, I don't know when this is going to air, but guys, it's holiday season. We're talking about some fun stuff before we delve into Jessica's illustrious career. I just found out that Jessica is getting engaged in Hawaii. Jessica, so guys, she's sorry, but she's getting engaged. Tell us about your special announcement.
Well, it's been quite fun, actually. I always thought that it was just going to be one of those, oh my gosh, I had no idea it was happening moments. Not exactly the case, but it ended up being even more special than anything I could have imagined. So my boyfriend really wanted to use his grandmother's jewelry. Wow. So we got his mother's blessing, and we have been custom designing our ring together.
Wow.
Beautiful.
And she just picked it up this morning.
Oh my God, that is fantastic.
So thank you, Cleveland Snowstorm, for going a little light so that we could make it happen, because I was a little bit nervous about that.
And so you're getting engaged in Hawaii.
Yes.
When?
Supposedly next week.
But the ring is in Cleveland.
Yes, so mom's in Cleveland, or his mother's in Cleveland. She just picked up the ring, and then she's going to fly it with her. That'll be her passenger buddy on the
Oh my God. So is she going with you guys to Hawaii?
Yeah, so we'll all meet in Hawaii tomorrow.
What island?
We're staying in Oahu in the North Shore.
Where? I love Hawaii.
I'm so excited to go.
Do you know where? What area? What
The North
section?
Shore area.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And the boys are swimming with the sharks, I believe, on Saturday. So as long as they don't get eaten by sharks, we should be okay.
Wow, what a great way to celebrate the holiday season and engagement. It's just a wonderful, wonderful time. Congratulations to you both.
Oh my goodness, thank you. I'm so excited.
I have a question, Jessica, before we start, sort of, or at least to start with. Briefcase Model number 16. For those who aren't familiar with the show, can you tell us a little bit about what that is?
So Deal or No Deal was really a fabulous game show concept. And for those who might not have seen it, we had 26 models up on this beautiful stage, and each model was assigned a briefcase.
Including the Duchess
Yes.
of...
Meghan Markle was
Yes.
indeed a Deal or No Deal girl, as was Chrissy Teigen. She was on the show too, and
Wow.
Claudia Jordan.
Claudia, I know about her, but yeah, I didn't know
And
Chrissy.
Amanda Smith, who has now just been flourishing and doing so well on Selling Sunset. I'm so
Yeah,
happy
well,
for
you
her success.
too, right?
So, well, I think I have to get my real estate license before I'm allowed to join that cast. But
No, I mean, but you're
2025.
You're flourishing as well in other areas.
Thank you. But yeah, we have amazing contestants who are cancer survivors, teachers, people who are integral to their community. We had a gentleman on our season who actually saved a woman in the Vegas shooting.
Oh my God.
And we actually reunited them on that episode. So that was really special. And something that was very unique about Deal or No Deal that I really loved and appreciated was whatever the contestants won was what they got to take home. Wow. We didn't tax that. The production actually paid the taxes, because on a lot of game shows, some people might not know this, the contestants actually have to pay the taxes. So if you win a car, you're responsible for the taxes. Whatever sum of money you win, you usually have to pay the taxes. But on our show, we really wanted to give back to the people and help them. So production actually covered those costs.
So I'm going to ask a question about Howie Mandel.
Of course.
Just because everyone talks about, he talks about it as well. Is he really that he suffers from OCD or he doesn't shake hands? Is that for real?
Yes, that is a real thing. And I think that I applaud him for being so open and honest about discussing OCD and being germophobic and some of those things, because it is important to talk about, and it's something that's so relatable that so many people go through. And the thing with Howie is he's not sitting there trying to push everyone away. Once he feels comfortable around you and gets to know you, he doesn't mind, It's just also when you're dealing with that many fans and people, I don't blame him.
Honestly, I would do the same because I'm germophobic as well.
Yeah, but it was so special. Like, we got to a point after working alongside for a while and doing a few other projects with him after the season, he gave me a hug. I felt so special. I got a hug from Howie, and his family's lovely. His wife and his kids and his grandkids, he would have them on set with us when we were filming.
He doesn't age.
No, I also want to understand what his trick is. Like,
He doesn't age.
Teach us your ways, Howie Mandel.
Topic for another podcast.
Anti-aging with Howie Mandel. That would be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it is. Just don't shake everybody's hand in
That's
this stone age. I
right.
kind of like this. I think there's something to this.
Yeah.
Jessica, I was reading that you do a lot of philanthropy with children.
I do.
And I was wondering if maybe partly because of your own journey with adoption, that particular group is special to you, but maybe you can talk a little bit more about that and why you work with the children.
That's a very insightful question, actually, and I really appreciate the understanding that you have surrounding the importance of giving back to me, because a lot of it does have to do with that. I feel like at the end of the day, I feel so fortunate and so grateful for how I ended up here.
Yeah.
I could have stayed in the orphanage. There's a high probability that I might not even be alive today.
Wow.
And so I do take that to heart, and every single day I try to give back and give a part of myself, because I don't forget that I came from that.
Oh, that's incredible.
And I don't think I'll ever forget, really, no matter what happens in my life, that giving back and helping others is so important, because I'm here because of the help and kindness of others.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You know, when I loved reading about you, your life, and all you've been able to accomplish. So this podcast is about inspiring others, and your journey is so inspirational. A lot of folks would want to know, how did you get into the industry? Because it's a very difficult industry to navigate.
This is true. It is a very difficult industry to navigate. But I will say, growing up as an adoptee in Colorado, I didn't really fit in naturally. I
You're
always
so
stood out.
beautiful, and no one knows that you're an adoptee. Seriously, you are so beautiful. I mean, no one knows that. It's just in your, no, you're beautiful.
Thank you. It was something that I actually was very self-conscious of, and really almost even ashamed of for a lot of my life. My adoptive parents are Caucasian, so we didn't look anything alike. And there were multiple times growing up where even people at the grocery store would tell us, like, oh, that's not your real mom. Or, you know, I had people, classmates, tell me they couldn't be my friends because I was adopted or because I was Asian. I had people, as I got older in high school, telling me that they couldn't date me or didn't want to date me because I was Asian or adopted.
What?
Yeah. And so for a long time, it was something that I didn't feel proud of,
Oh my God.
that I really sort of felt ashamed of, and I guess probably a part of me even resented it, because it was something that made me stand out and not fit in. And all I wanted was to fit in. I wanted so badly just to be like all my peers, and I realized it didn't matter what I did, how I styled my hair, how I dyed my hair, what makeup I put on. I was never going to be like my Caucasian
I
classmates.
love that.
And so I finally had to just kind of start to embrace being who I am and what I am.
Good for you.
And it's funny, the acting and modeling industry actually helped
Embraced
me
you.
with that, because I didn't see myself as beautiful. I didn't see myself as worthy, because by the standards that I was around, I didn't qualify as that. And it actually still to this day reminds me that I have my own definition of beauty, and that I bring something unique to the table. And yeah, I'm so grateful for it. Honestly, it really has been that, and just being part of that industry, that has helped me learn to accept myself and learn how to love myself.
I love that. That's beautiful. And you know one of the intentions I had for helping Eve do this podcast today was to be able to bring to the viewers and the audience, the listeners, what they couldn't experience. And what I'm experiencing from you, just energy-wise, you have such a beautiful, kind, calm energy. I can understand why you'd work with kids, because I think that they would absolutely love you. And so I think that self-love is is part of what I'm feeling from you. It's really
It's
a
incredible.
lovely energy.
It is. It's amazing, and I think your story is going to resonate with so many people because when I see you, I see this beautiful human being, beautiful inner and outwardly. And it's great to hear you share your story because there are so many people out there who are struggling as well and would not understand that someone like you experienced those challenges, right? And I think it's such a beautiful journey. So how do you handle rejections? Obviously, we're in an industry where it's all about rejections, right? So what's your advice to a lot of folks out there and anywhere in the world who are trying to get into this industry? And it can be daunting and gut-wrenching when you go through the rejections.
This is so true. I'd say that being in the entertainment industry, I've experienced the highest of highs as well as the lowest of lows. But at the end of the day, it really does teach you self-reliance, and it makes you separate the rejection from who you are as a person. Because if you understand how projects work, from modeling to acting projects, it's about creating a vision and an end goal. And sometimes you just don't fit that vision. And if you look at it like a puzzle, not all the puzzle pieces are going to fit in to every puzzle. They're very specific, but it has nothing to do with you as a person. It has nothing to do with you and your core. And you just have to keep believing that the right projects will come and that there are projects that you will fit in perfectly for. And when they're saying no to you after an audition or a callback, or even if you're put on a bail, which is so exciting until you're dropped. Because you're like, oh, I made it. And then you didn't. But it's not you that they're judging. They're not saying, oh, you, Jessica Lee, are a crap person and we just don't want you. It could be something as simple as you're an inch taller than the other lead. It could be something as you're an inch shorter than the other lead. It could be your hair color. It could be your hair texture. It could be your skin tone. It can be so many other factors that you have no control over.
Do you have some kind of a ritual or process when you get that rejection to go through to boost yourself up?
Well, I think at this point I've been rejected so many times. I'm just like, okay, just like taking another breath of air. Here we go.
That's so fun.
Going in the next one.
You're funny. You should be a comedian. Another.
No ritual then.
No real ritual. I think that, honestly, here's the truth, right? Maybe I would have a ritual of like taking myself out to a lovely dinner or getting a nice cocktail to celebrate or something. But let's be real. Do we really have the money for that? Half the time, us struggling actors, we're like trying to pay our bills.
Yes,
so
I know.
Our ritual is just like, all right,
Yeah.
carry on.
Right. Gotta find the things like walking on the beach, the things that are free, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So take us back to when you got that call or your agent reached out and said you had been cast to be Briefcase Model number 16. Because that was probably was life-changing, right?
Oh my gosh.
Tell us about the audition process.
I remember I was sitting in my apartment and I got the call because there were 22,000 girls that auditioned for this.
Wow.
22,000.
If that's any self-assurance for yourself, always remind yourself that 22,000 and you are one of the girls ladies selected.
That was your puzzle piece.
Fantastic.
It was finally, one of those opportunities where it was just right. And I was sitting in my apartment. I was so excited. I had done the original audition. I had done the callback. And the callback was really, really an experience.
Wow.
Because there were so many beautiful women in the waiting room. And this was an in-person audition.
In LA.
In LA. This wasn't a self-tape where you're just,
Before COVID,
in the comfort
right?
of your own home filming yourself. Oh, no, there's a whole panel of people at the table. And they're asking you to walk. And I just walked out of that callback and I was like, oh, I did so well. I think I did well. But also like, it's out of my control and I'm just going to try to be at peace with the fact that I might not get it. And I got that call and I screamed into the phone. My agent's probably deaf in that ear because I was like, ah. I don't think I've ever lost my cool so much in my life, but definitely lost my cool at that moment. I was not cool.
Totally, it's okay. It's totally okay in that moment.
Wow.
Oh, I was so excited. And, you know, one of the biggest things from a realistic standpoint was in my mind, as soon as I was told I booked the role, I thought, oh my God, I have an opportunity to really make the most of this platform to help others.
Yes.
And maybe I'll qualify for SAG health insurance.
Right.
Yep. Big things, guys. SAG health insurance, not easy to get. So
Yes.
it's a big celebratory moment when you think you might be getting it.
And how were you able to help people through that role?
I actually incorporated some sign language into it because I always felt like that was an audience and demographic that was really overlooked. And considering that media is a visual platform, I felt like it was a huge disservice and disconnect that we weren't integrating more ASL into all of the shows, into commercials, because they're hard of hearing, but they can see. And it's like, well, this is a great way to kind of send secret messages right onto the camera.
Good for
So,
you.
Did you have to learn it, or do you already know ASL?
you know, I am very embarrassed to say my ASL skills have gone down the tubes, but I did spend a lot of time practicing and learning. And during, you know, the first couple years, really taking an effort to connect with the ASL community. And it's such a wonderful community and it's such a beautiful language. Oh my gosh.
Good for
like
you.
I had a friend in preschool and he was one of my best friends in preschool growing up, and he could hear, he and his sister, but the rest of his family were deaf. And so that was my first exposure to ASL, and I always loved how the family would communicate with each other, and I thought it was the coolest thing. To me, I thought it was this nifty, like, awesome secret language, like this little secret society where they could talk to each other and, like, code. So I really do want to get back into it. I had a head injury the end of 2019, which kind of
Sorry to
derailed
hear.
everything.
Oh no.
But
Are you okay?
yeah, got it back. Everything, goodness. Ugh. I was a little worried about that. I ended up having a non-epileptic seizure. It was on Black Friday, now known as Blackout Friday.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
And I was backstage at the Slayer concert. And then all of a sudden, I was getting ringing in my ears. The lights were starting to blur and I felt super lightheaded. And I turned to my friend and was like, hey, after this song, like, can we go to the bathroom? And I knew I wasn't drunk or anything. I hadn't drank anything because I drove.
Yeah.
It was way too much money to take the Uber to the Forum. So I drove myself there. And we had just eaten, like, all of the huge buffet of food backstage, so I knew it wasn't my blood sugar. I knew my blood sugar wasn't low because sometimes I will have low blood sugar because I'm hypoglycemic. So I knew it wasn't that. And I was like, I don't know, I just feel so weird. And she said the second after I turned to her and said that, I just fell straight over and smashed the side of my face and my head on the cement.
Wow.
If any of you paramedics are out there that remember this experience, thank you, because I was in no shape to
Oh my goodness.
register anything at that moment.
So tell us, what exciting projects are you currently working on?
So currently, I have been building out my fashion platform.
Ooh.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Oh
I'm
my
so excited
gosh.
for this. I've always had a passion for fashion.
Yeah.
But I always felt like I needed to downplay it or undermine it because growing up, it wasn't something that was really celebrated or talked about. It was more looked down on, like, oh, you're stuck up, you like fashion, or oh, that's like, that makes you a shallow person, or you're so vain. So I just kind of like secretly sketch my fashions and like dress myself fun, but never really talk about it. And now I'm getting to a point where I'm embracing fashion as a form of communication and self-expression. And it doesn't mean that you're shallow or vain. it can be an art form. And really, to me, that's what I see fashion as. It's this beautiful medium of art.
You're right.
And people can use it to communicate how they feel, how they want to feel. Like, sometimes when I'm feeling down, that's when I'll put on a cute outfit just to try to perk myself up.
Oh, totally. I totally agree with you. And I think it's one of the things that I'd shared as well about fashion for me. I use fashion to express my thoughts, express how I feel, my moods, black, pink, all of that.
Yeah.
So the platform, tell us more about it.
So I'm starting it by creating a bunch of content on my Instagram surrounding fashion, styling, outfit recreations, even funny things like dressing like an emoji or emoji-inspired outfits, recreating different like princess or iconic character looks. But I also like to focus on affordable fashion because something I noticed is a lot of the content creators and fashion influencers only gravitate towards promoting high-end luxury designer. And I don't know about you, but spending $5,000 on a shirt or a dress is out of my budget. And I know that it's really unrealistic for a lot of people.
Oh, yes.
And as an actress and a model, again, I don't have an endless budget. Realistically, I know sometimes people think that just because you're on TV or on a billboard that you're rich, and that's not exactly true. And I will be the first to be very transparent and open about the fact that that's not true and to debunk it and say, no, it's actually the furthest from the truth, and you do have to dress yourself for all the red carpets. And
very expensive.
Yes, and it can get
hair,
really
makeup.
costly.
Oh.
Yeah, and like I don't have the resources to hire a team, so I have learned to become my own team for it. And then I thought, well, wait, maybe this little silly thing that I think is silly could actually be helpful for others out there who want to elevate their style, incorporate more fashion into their life, hair, makeup, but on a budget and on a realistic budget where, you know, all the fast fashion haters can poo-poo me all they want, but
I love it.
It's what a lot of us can afford. And there's nothing to be ashamed about not having a Louis Vuitton outfit or a Dior outfit. Like, you can... I have pieces in my closet from Target and Forever 21 that I've had for 10, 20 years. And I love them. And it's really about finding
and I love
pieces.
That.
Thank you.
I love what she's wearing. It's amazing.
So is this one of your creations?
Well, I didn't create it, although I would love to have my own line at some point.
It.
But yeah, this is a merging of Shein and Temu, actually.
But you know what? Hey.
It works.
It looks amazing.
So do you sew too?
You know, I do. I actually gave my mom my sewing machine, though, because hers broke. So I was like, okay, you can have my sewing machine.
She sews more than you sew?
Yeah, so she sews more. But I want to get back into it. And I really am actually starting to go back to more of retro vintage fashion. I love a classic A-line dress.
Oh, yes.
I mean, that to me is just timeless and classic, and it's effortless. It really is so chic. When a piece is cut right, you really don't have to do anything
But I
else.
love that. This is like what you're wearing is just, I mean, so chic. So we're getting into, I don't know when this episode is going to air, but we still have to talk about the holidays. And you've got all of this exciting, wonderful things happening in your life that we got to celebrate. Obviously, even if it airs next year, but Christmas is around the corner. Do you incorporate your Korean into the American culture when celebrating the holidays? Or do you know anything about the Korean culture?
I actually don't know as much about the Korean culture as I will. I've been educating myself. I actually started working with Korean adoptee groups to open conversations with other adoptees. That was something that actually started in 2020 when there was a spike in all of the Asian hate and Asian racism, which was really an interesting time, especially for me, because I had a moment where I was walking my dog, and there was a lady also with her dog. She had a big Doberman Pinscher, and she started screaming at me and swearing at me and saying it was my fault, it's all my fault, and that I was probably going to eat my dog. And it didn't even register me what she was saying. I was like, oh my gosh, no, your dog's not going to eat my dog. I'm like, it's a little puppy. And I couldn't figure it out. I was across the street from a hospital, and there was a bunch of people doing the car parade for the frontline workers. And I thought she was mad about that.
Oh my God.
And then all of a sudden, I noticed there was a group of people that started to stand around us that were also walking and congregate. And she finally walked away, and a couple people that had stopped just looked at me and they're like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that happened to you. And I was like, oh, I think she's just having a bad day. I didn't even register what had happened until I got home, and then it hit me, and I freaked out. It also made me realize that I had such a disconnect with my identity of how I see myself versus how everyone else sees me. Because I just see myself as Jessica Lee, like, person. And then I was like, oh shit, everyone else sees me as Asian. Like, they're like, oh, you're an Asian girl, and that's all they see. And I was like, oh my God, like, I really need to go and do some unpacking right now on my identity and how I see myself and how others see me. And that wasn't the first time something like that had happened, and it wasn't the last time that happened either.
Very
but
sad.
In that process, I did learn a lot about that, and starting to embrace more of the Korean side, feeling comfortable, educating myself on it
So
to
sorry
get
you
something.
had to go through that. So your adopted parents are Caucasians,
Yeah.
right? But did they ever want to change your last name because you still have Lee and you don't know much about your Korean? Was that ever a conversation?
So they actually did change my name when I was adopted. So on my citizenship papers and adoption papers, I have my Caucasian adoptee name. When I was in my early 20s, I really wanted to learn more about my parents, if there was any information. And I finally was given a sheet that had my biological parents' names written on it. Wow. And so that was sort of the turning point for me, where I said, I'm going to create a hybrid name that fits my identity, because being called Jessica alone doesn't really mean anything to me. It doesn't really fit or resonate. Jessica Lee as my name, I'm like, oh yeah, that's me, because I'm this person, but I'm also this. And I was like, oh, well, finally, this is a name that I understand and that I feel like really represents me. And so I added it in, and somehow the magic of SAG, there was no other Jessica Lee, which is hard to believe. Yeah. So I actually was able to register as Jessica Lee with SAG. And then, just all the process of finding myself.
Jessica, I find that in this industry, I think I feel it's really important that women support other women. I think that's
Absolutely.
How we get ahead, because it's so male dominated. And I'm just wondering, has there been a woman or some women who have been mentors to you?
Yes, indeed. One of my most beloved mentors is a former runway model. And I actually had really bad skin when I started in the industry, and my agent was like, look, I like you, but we got to fix this. And I'm sending you to this esthetician, and then come back. I was like, all right, here we go. So I go to see this lady, one of the most incredible humans in this world. So she was actually one of Mugler's like top models, and like has walked in all the big shows around the world. She was an agent, and she has been such a key person in my life, helping me through so many ups and downs. Always being there if I had any questions, and she also saved my skin. So thank you, Darian.
So much more than just an esthetician, right?
Oh my gosh,
Beautiful.
so much more. And she actually got into skincare because she had struggled herself with it, and then has now done all the big top models and all the other talent out there that also has been struggling.
So you've worked with such huge brands, throughout your career. Is there anyone that you would sort of love to partner with?
Oh, again, I still want to work with Target, because
you never know. Someone might be out there who gets to see this, right?
I would love to work with Target, and, obviously it'd be great to be dressed by like an Oscar de la Renta for an award show. But For me, growing up in Colorado, I remember one of the things that always made me aspire to model and to act and to get my face out there was when I'd be in the stores at Target or something. And I would just see the billboards and the posters and the ads inside their store, and I would think, I want to do that. At Kohl's, I was like, I want to be in one of these ads, or like, I want to be up there. And I was lucky. I was able to start modeling and acting when I was 8 years old. I still work with my agency, my first agency that repped me in Denver.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah, they're so lovely. They've always been really good to me. But I would always want to do like those little campaigns. And I think it's because what I realized later in life, not when I was a child doing this, but in my adult life doing this, I realized part of me that keeps pushing and pushing and pushing to do this, even through all the rejection, is I have this little bit of hope and this little wish that maybe it will help me be able to find my biological parents or my biological family one day. Is like, the more I'm out there, maybe it'll just help me increase my odds of finding them and reconnecting with them one day.
Wow, what a beautiful. I'm sure you will.
I hope
If
so.
anybody's out there and has a connection to Target, you heard that.
Hey.
Contact Eve. Let's get Jessica hooked up.
Yes, no, I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure it's going to happen.
I hope so.
I just look at your story, your journey, just from reading about you. It is so inspirational. But not only that, you're just such a wonderful person. Your energy, and I mean, it's incredible. What's your advice to anyone out there going through any type of adversity? And people they don't even know how to pick themselves up. So what would you advise them?
Well, I'd say the biggest piece of advice for anyone who's going through hardship or adversity is to remember that the brightest lights only shine when it's dark. There are no stars when it's light out.
Yeah.
They only come out in the dark.
Oh,
And so just remember that even in your darkest hour, your darkest moment, that's really your time to shine and to turn on your light and to really try to find that and harness that and keep shining on through it, because that's what's going to get you out and that's what's going to get you through the darkness.
that's beautiful.
Beautiful reminder. Thank you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I know. So, gosh, I'm thinking, what else would you like our listeners and audiences to? Obviously, it's going to be on YouTube as well, not just audio. What else do you want to put out there so the audience will get to know? I mean, everyone they know you, Briefcase number 16, but is there something that you think we don't know about you, as something that you would like to share?
Well, I think another thing to sort of piggyback off of a piece of advice to give to anyone who's going through hardship, which really everyone is, right? Everyone has something, some sort of battle, some sort of hardship.
No one escapes it.
Oh, no one escapes
You know,
it. It's
everyone
tough.
has something to deal with.
Yeah.
And another key component in that is there's so much healing in helping.
Yes.
When you are hurting, that's not the time to be selfish. That's the time to step
help.
outside yourself and help others.
I like that.
Because you will get such a miraculous gift in doing that. It will automatically come back to you and heal you in ways that you didn't even know you needed.
That's so powerful.
So always do what you can to help others. Anything.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be big. You know, some people think, oh, I don't have anything to give. Yes, you do. One of the biggest things that you can give is your time. Your time, your acknowledgement, even simple things. Acknowledge the people around you that you see every day.
Yeah.
Acknowledge people who tend to be overlooked,
Yeah.
because that's really going to help elevate your life.
Oh my goodness! I just got the the sign from Roger that we're down to the 3-minute mark. I can't believe it. It went by. This was such an inspirational conversation. So the last question, Jessica, is obviously, if you would have, I'm in the holiday season, but if you were to have dinner with 3 people, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Ooh, I would really want to have dinner with my biological mom, if I can ever find you.
That's a good
my
one.
biological dad, if you even know I exist. And I think it would be cool to also meet the my first foster mom lady, and because I have a picture of her. I don't know what my biological mom or dad look like. I don't have any pictures of them, but the one picture I have from the orphanage is of this lady holding me, and I'm like, well, who are you, lady?
Oh my goodness, this has been such an inspirational. Your journey is a testament to resilience, dedication, and a desire to make lasting differences in the world. Jessica, you are a true beacon of hope for many. Your story is incredible. Congratulations on your upcoming engagement. When we see you next, you're going to be engaged. Safe travels to Hawaii. Alicia, this was an amazing episode. Oh my God.
Thank you
so
much,
upbeat.
Jessica.
Roger, thank you for producing. Janie, thank you over there. Yay. Alicia, thank you so much for coming by to host with me. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you watch this episode on the Discovery Pod with Eve's YouTube channel, or you could listen to us on your favorite podcast platform. This has been such an inspirational, uplifting episode. So please make sure you watch this. Jessica's story is incredible. Jessica, you are amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story, your journey. And I'm going to be checking her out on, please plug your Instagram and all of that so people know to check.
Please follow me on Instagram at _Jessica_Lee.
And that's where people could find out about your fashion platform that she's currently working on. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching, and see you again next time. Please make sure you come back next week, because you never know who's going to stop by. Until then, thank you for watching. Bye, everyone.